Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Think on These Things. It's all about controlling your thought life so your thought life doesn't control you. Now today we're going to talk for a few minutes about thinking on things that are just. But before we do, I'm going to ask that if you like this content or if you find it interesting or at least it gets you thinking, then give me a thumbs up. Give me a like this video, and subscribe to this channel to receive more short videos like this one. All right, let's get into it.
One time, here we go, here the facts.
Have you ever done something simply because it was the right thing to do? I remember a story years ago about this teenager that found a wallet. This wallet had $1,500 in it, and he could have pocketed the money and gone on his way, right? But at the end of the day, he did not steal it. Instead, he found who it belonged to by the ID in the wallet, and he returned it to that person. Now, the news heralded him as a hero, right? Why? Because he had done the right thing. Even though there was nothing to stop him from just grabbing the money, tossing the wallet, and walking away. That teenager did what was just. The term just comes from the Greek word dikaios, which means righteous. So in a nutshell, justice means doing the right thing, the moral thing, according to the standards, whatever they are. Living in a way that is referred to as living in a right state. Or as I like to say, living in such a way that if someone spoke badly about you, no one would believe it, right? This is the kind of righteous living we should strive for. We all face a choice about what kind of life we want to live. I mean, some people believe in the universe, and that is saying that there is this mysterious, unknown force that judges and sets things in order. Some people, like me, believe in God, which is not some all-powerful mystical force, but the creator of the universe who has neither beginning nor end. Some people just believe that we came from an explosion and evolved over millions of years into what we are today. But whether you're like me, who finds it fascinating that people believe that there is no God, or if you're like many others who find it foolish that people like me believe that there is a God, or at the end of the day, you believe that, there's a universe, God, we just came from evolution, an explosion, you still have a choice. Now, God gives me a reason to live an ethical life. He's my moral compass. But what is yours? What gives you a reason to live an ethical life? And why even try? Especially if there's no reward. If there's no afterlife, if there's no karma, if there's no reason, why do you do it? And who even determines what a moral life is? When I ask you to meditate on this word just as it relates to how you live your life, what I'm really doing is I'm imploring you to find your moral compass. In other words, your reason for connecting with all of the yard signs and the t-shirts that say, be kind. And saying it's the right thing to do falls short of a good reason to me. All right, because the right thing to do can be so subjective. I mean, who determines what the right thing to do is? A better question is, who is even qualified to determine the right thing to do? Yet many people in every society feel that justice is or should be a basic tenet of that society. So living a just life contributes to or should contribute to societal justice. Frederick Douglass once said that where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, to rob, and to degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe. Now, on one hand, you can come to the conclusion that this is a statement of revolt, but think about it. What happens when you corner any animal or human, for that matter, it fights to get out of the corner. It's called self-preservation, right? And whatever is cornered most likely feels like either I fight or I die. So justice is a shared concept, but what drives us to live a just life? Why would we do that? I mean, I have my reasons and I have my beliefs for sure. But what about you? What drives you to live an ethical life or not, or even try? I'm trying to get you to meditate and consider the word just as it relates to your life. All right, if you take an ethics class or a philosophy class, you'll see that it's true that there are philosophers that have fashioned some theories about how people can live a morally ethical life, righteous life. For example, Deontology, that's a word that means duty or the study of duty. And it says that some choices cannot be justified by their outcomes, that no matter how morally good their consequences are, some choices are morally forbidden because there are strict rules and duties that everyone must adhere to, period. And maybe the thought is that it levels the moral playing field for everybody. Now, conversely, another theory would say that something is either right or wrong simply based on the consequences of the action, like how much good it brought or how much pain it caused. That's called consequentialism, right? Or like virtue ethics, which is to say that there are certain virtues like truthfulness, self-control, courage, and you should live your life according to those virtues. So, in other words, those virtues are your moral compass. But the truth is, without help, and significant help at that, humans align everything with self-preservation. It is, after all, a basic instinct in both humans and animals. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is always selfish and they act selfishly, or that no one is ever kind. But what I'm saying is that as we've seen through the last couple of years of political and societal unrest and, a pandemic, that people are prone to take sides and accept whatever that side is as wholesale truth. Or if not wholesale truth, at least they tolerate, accept, and even support exhaustively the side that they've chosen, the good and the bad. So that is to say that I'll put up with all of the bad stuff because the good stuff is beneficial and it produces the greatest amount of happiness in the greatest amount of people. But isn't that utilitarianism, which says that actions are right if they are useful for the benefit of a majority as it relates to a society or a group? Listen, I'm not trying to be overly deep or philosophical, but I have a moral code. Not that I live up to it 24/7, but it is what I strive for, and it is rooted in the Bible. But what is your moral code? Do you have one? I mean, with all of the things you've seen in the last few years, and for some of you, maybe many of you, all your life, you may ask, why even keep trying? If people are inherently corrupt, if it seems impossible to change the hearts of men and women to conform to a state of righteousness and justice, if there will always be corruption and oppression, then what is the point? Why even try to live a moral life? Well, Mary Todd Lincoln said something once that when I read it, it really stuck with me. She said, "Clouds and darkness surround us, yet heaven is just, and the day of triumph will surely come when justice and truth will be vindicated." So that is to say, I absolutely have something to look forward to. But it's not just that. It's not just that I have a reward at the end if I live a good life. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's that when I was able to meditate on this word just, not just think about it or just define it, or even have a fleeting thought, but to actually meditate on it, I realized that our primary goal, you and me, isn't to make money. It isn't to save for retirement. It isn't to have a fulfilling career. It isn't to raise a family. It isn't to leave a legacy. It isn't to accomplish great things. It isn't to overcome insurmountable obstacles. It isn't to live, love, and laugh, or eat, pray, love. It isn't to read books or have a great education. What I realized is that our primary reason for existing is for each other. That's why we're here. And that's why there's not just one of us. And in saying that our primary reason isn't for one or many of those things I just mentioned, I'm saying that it's for all of those things. And so, as I urge you to think on these things, and specifically today, think and meditate on the word just, I would encourage you that life is not to be thought about, life is to be lived, and it should be lived for others. Or else, what's it all for? Okay, wow, that was a lot. So, for now, that's all I have. And until next time, think good thoughts.